Now, the New York International Auto Show is on. Here's a quick look at the latest trends and what the future may hold for some of the world's biggest car makers.
The fast, the fuel efficient, and the futuristic. Motorheads rev your engines, the New York International Auto Show has rolled into town. With more than 1,000 vehicles on display, dozens of world premieres, and more than a few showstoppers, the annual event attracts over 1 million visitors, all itching to get behind the wheel.
Last year's important statistic for the industry was that 68% of the people that came to the New York Auto Show were 12-month intenders, meaning that in the next 12 months, they're ready to buy a car.
Traditionally known as one of the best places for luxury automakers, there's no shortage of fancy wheels to check out. The Big Apple is the biggest market for these cars in the US, accounting for over 13% of luxury sales, according to IHS Markit. But this year, car makers seem to be following the mantra that bigger is better.
Actually, the fastest growing segment on Kelley Blue Book is the small crossover segment. So consumers are interested in this segment and manufacturers are responding with some really interesting product.
Jaguar's Land Rover Range Rover Velar to Jeep's Grand Cherokee Trackhawk and Ford's first redesigned Lincoln Navigator in 10 years. This year's show saw several unveilings of new and updated sports utility vehicles. Perhaps it's hardly surprising that car makers are putting these types of vehicles in the fast lane at this year's New York International Auto Show. Market share of SUVs last year increased to nearly 40% of total US vehicle sales from just over 32% in 2014. And car makers expect this trend to continue.
Outlook is fantastic. The SUVs as percent of the total market are growing, and we believe they're going to continue to grow.
But the road ahead for SUVs could face some hairpin curves from more fuel-efficient competitors. While electric vehicles currently only make up about 1% of total US auto sales, last year's sales jumped an impressive 37% from 2015. Companies like Honda, who revealed their all-new Clarity plug-in hybrid at the New York International Auto Show, are banking on the electric vehicle market brightening its spark. But auto industry analysts are not so convinced.
So what's interesting about the green cars is it's actually being pushed onto the market by regulations as opposed to the consumer pulling on the market. And that's the challenge that manufacturers are facing from an investment standpoint. Because suddenly you're saying, hey, you know what, consumers aren't demanding these vehicles, but the regulations are.
And that was certainly evident at this year's show, with the number of SUVs way outnumbering green cars. Consumers and companies still seem to think bigger is better.